Today, I've got a juicy, juicy game for you. This is possibly my best ranked game I've ever played. It certainly is the best ranked game I've played so far this season, and it's really not even close. So, today we're in the ZF6, and this ship was a Dockyard ship, and probably one of the better ones. If you don't know, this ship has a reload booster, and it's German. So, something you normally see on French ships. Another thing you'd also see on French ships is the torpedoes. These are short-range, extremely quick torpedoes that do a ton of damage. But first, the reload booster on the guns. Yeah, it turns a 3-second or so reload into a 1.5-second reload for 15 seconds. So yeah, we're able to deal with this Fletcher relatively easily. My aim is not quite where it should be if we wanted to maximize damage output, unfortunately, but it's not a huge deal since the enemy team really isn't here all that heavily. So this Fletcher made a bit of a mistake, and unfortunately for him, it is going to cost him his ship. And that is just the start. Bit of a misplay from the Fletcher, and that really gives us a nice advantage. And you're going to notice as we go through that we gain a massive advantage on the enemy team. But this one, if you notice the title, we end up in a 1v3 situation, so we'll just see how we get to that. But for now, let's start to get our advantage. Fletcher is going to go down here, and we're going to get the A cap relatively easily. I'm also going to use my smoke screen to attempt to go dark. That way I don't take an extra salvo or two from this Veneto. Slowing down seems to have done the trick here. And now we're just going to extend our smoke screen into the cap and try and take it. This gives us a huge, huge advantage into this game. This is why I love playing destroyers in ranked. We managed to take out an entire enemy destroyer and gain the upper ground on cap control. That means that the enemy team is put in a very awkward situation where they have to push in and make something happen while also being down an entire ship. And usually, this is going to result in some very easy ranked wins. Unfortunately for us, that's not quite going to go through. But for now, we're taking the cap, and we're going to do a decent job of pushing this Veneto away. But crucially, we're not going to chase. You'll notice that the enemy team has a vast majority of their ships on the BC flank, which means we need to get over there as quickly as we can to provide some support. I'll do a little bit of farming on my way over there, but really this is all about getting back on defense to try and help our team around the C cap. There's also carriers in this one, and they're a little bit annoying. But of course, in a DD, you should be learning how to turn your AA off and on optimally. You want to deal damage to the planes that are trying to permanently spot you, but you don't want to get spotted unnecessarily. So that really just involves knowing the detection of your ship by planes. In the ZF6, it's in that 2.6, 2.7 kilometer range. And then I'm just going to turn on my AA anytime a plane gets within that range. And I'll probably turn my AA back off once the plane leaves. Just a simple thing to do to minimize spotting while also dealing some damage to those carrier planes that are trying to keep you permanently lit. So this Veneto grounds in front of our team, and I'm thinking this guy is going to take a ton of damage. If not, he's going to go down here. Might not exactly happen, but yeah, again, we're turning on our AA. We may as well, since we're completely firing in this situation, to try and help our Massachusetts stay alive. And our Massachusetts is going to push out middle, which is maybe not the push I would make in a battleship. If he stays in this channel, helps on this Veneto, and then gets some crossfires in on these guys pushing C. As you notice, they managed to take out our entire Ruprecht already. This might have gone pretty well. On the ZF6, of course, we do run Luchins, since the more recent commander changes allowed us to run these special commanders on all our premium ships and have different builds for each class, which I really, really can't stress enough how awesome this change is. Allowing us to use Luchins on a ship like the ZF6, which I do have built for guns, is amazing. We're getting another reload buff here. You'll notice I am turning my AA on and off like I talked about, even to try and help my teammates deal with the planes striking them. Here we're going to run into the other enemy destroyer, and I have the armor piercing loaded. ZF6 has improved pen angles, as well as I believe some shorter fuse times, which can enable us to do some pretty massive salvos with the AP. That first one was 3,500, and yeah, the reload booster is pretty disgusting. Although we're getting a lot of overpens, so it is a situation where armor piercing and high explosive does have to be balanced out. We would have been doing probably a little more damage to him when he's flat broadside with the HE, but we managed to take him out anyway, so it's really not too big a deal. And this is where things get challenging. The enemy team had 2 caps. Our Cossack is doing a great job of back capping, but we're getting run down by a Georgia. And a Georgia is a ship I actually can't outrun in a ZF6. Even with our speed boost up, we're similar speeds, and that's pretty terrifying as a destroyer player. So that's why I'm just completely turning and running. I send my torpedoes to try and help against the enemy Massachusetts, since it's more than likely he's pushing for the central channel here into the A cap, and we do manage to pick up 1 torpedo hit, which is nice and will help us in the future. Again, we're trying to get away from this Georgia, but notice the Veneto has come back. The enemy team has done a great job of cornering us in this part of the map. There's not a lot of escape routes here, and it's really important that we open one up for ourselves, since operating in stealth and being sneaky and having the enemy team not aware of our position is crucial to good destroyer play. Our carrier does end up going down, of course. That wasn't too surprising since the battleships got so close. And we launch an excellent, excellent torpedo salvo at the Veneto here. I can't stress enough how important it is that this Cossack back-capped as well. Unfortunately, a torpedo dies right as it's about to hit the Veneto and finish him off. So we're now down 3 ships to 2. The enemy team has the lead on ships, and they're about to capture A. And the Massachusetts is going back to capture B at this moment. So what do I need to be doing? I need to be resetting this Georgia. And this is a massive mistake I make here. I spend time talking about the differences in how battleships play, depending on how you switch from torpedoes to your guns with priority target. And I'm so busy trying to explain that to the Twitch chat that I was playing it with that I forget to reset the Georgia. And even worse than not resetting the Georgia here, I show my position. The Georgia now has the cap, has no need to stay in the capture circle, and knows exactly where I am. He's faster than me, and he's got me caught in a corner. So this is a rough position. So think critically about what you would be doing from this point on. We're going to slow down to try and get some torpedoes into the Georgia, and then we're going to go behind this island and try and engage with this Georgia in a reasonably safe way. It's a bit of a mind game right now. Which side is he going to pop out from? Is he going to directly charge my smoke screen, or is he going to come around this right side of this island? And I'm paying attention to how his spotter plane is actually following him. This is going to let me know right now that he's probably going to pop out from the right side of this island any second. That's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at where this spotter plane is and guessing where the center of that spotter plane circle is. And it turns out I'm right. Unfortunately, though, that means there's, again, no escaping this Georgia. We need to stall for time as much as we can. The Cossack is stalling out the Massachusetts in A, but he manages to, or sorry, that's the B cap. He manages to get the cap. So now we're down 2 caps to 1, but it does look like we're going to win on points. It's a little bit too close to call, and unfortunately I don't have the score timer mod, but I do believe since we got to 900 before they got to 800, we would win on points. So now all we have to do is live. But I did say it was a 1v3. This is a 1v2 scenario. Yeah, our Cossack is going to try and deal with this Massachusetts, and it might not go so well. But we have bigger things to deal with here. The Georgia has now spotted us. Instantly, I'm going to pop my smoke, and I know, again, there's no way I can escape this situation. The crucial thing here is that I break contact with the enemy ship, and I try to be as unpredictable as possible. All I've done up to this point is run away, and that is it. As you can see in the in-game chat, our friend in the Georgia seems to think this game is already over in their favor, and we'll just have to see about that. Currently, what's going through my head is Georgia has incredibly slow turret traverse. It's super fast, and if he's pushing into me and I push into him, we're going to close the gap quickly enough that I can possibly get a torpedo salvo out on him. And you can see the Cossack and the Massachusetts trade, and our Georgia friend is very, very happy about this in chat. And here, of course, I'm going to the opposite side of the smoke as I was spotted on to try and trick this Georgia. And while this was happening, I was kind of wondering, do you think he's going to expect this? And obviously he didn't, charging straight into the smoke. And we're going to get a nice dev strike on this Georgia. How sweet is that? Finishing off a game in the corner of the map, but managing to win just because this Georgia charged in a little bit overconfident, and we managed to outplay him. And that's going to give us our rank increase to rank 3 and a nice victory with 160,000 damage. Pretty nuts game, and I was so happy after this one. We managed to even get 2.5k base. My heart was definitely pumping in the final moments of this game, and really, that's what makes this game so fun. Moments like this where I can't predict the outcome, and I have to rely on my own smarts and strategy to outplay and win the day. And now for those of you wondering about the specifics of the build, it is again a gunboat build with a heavy emphasis on survivability and increasing our consumable count, since that's really what we want to do on the ZF6. That's what makes it relatively strong. And I do think this ship is a pretty solid option for Destroyer ranked, but I do think this black is a little bit stronger. But ZF6 has been a ton of fun, and I've actually managed to rank up to rank 1 in bronze. So you can look forward to a video summarizing, especially my day to day. I actually went on a 100% win rate to get to rank 1 here. And I'll probably show a few of those games and summarize kind of some of the ideas that went into winning some of those. But for today, I had to show you this great, amazing down to the wire game with a little bit of karma mixed in. Hope you enjoyed, and thank you very much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day.